Today we will discuss about the scapula. Scapula, the Latin words, it's come from the shoulder. It is the thin plate bone. So it is very thin bone as compared to the other bone, and it is lies on the posterolateral aspect of the thoracic cage into the upper part, and it has a two surface. This is the dorsal surface, or it is called the posterior surface, and this is the costal surface, or it is called the subscapular fossa, and this is called the dorsal surface, and it has a three border: superior border, this is the superior border, this is the medial border, this is the lateral border. At the lateral border there is a one cavity into the upper aspect, it is called the glenoid cavity. Dorsal surface, which is divided into the two part by the two fossa. The upper part, this is the spine, attached portion of the scapula to the body. This is this portion up to this here. This is called the spine of the scapula. This is the spine of the scapula, and the free portions of the spine, it is called the acromion process of the scapula. So it is a continuation laterally. The spine, it is the attached portion of the to the body of the scapula on the dorsal surface, and it divides the dorsal surface into the two part, infraspinatus and supraspinatus fossa, and the free end of the free part of the spine, it is called the acromion process. And the anteriorly at the just near to the upper border on the lateral aspect, there is a one notch, it is called the suprascapular notch, and this process, it is called the coracoid process, and it is look like crow beak, so it is called the crow beak like appearance, and it is a process is directed forward and slightly laterally above to the glenoid process, above to the glenoid cavity, above to the glenoid cavity. It is the slight directed forwards and laterally, and it is finger like, and it is the bend and twist, so it is a coracoid process. Scapula have a three angle. This is the superior angle, which is covered by the trapezius muscle, inferior angle, which is mostly covered by the latissimus dorsi, and this is the lateral angle, or it is called the glenoid angle. It is broad and bears the glenoid cavity, and here there is a head of the humerus which is attached, and it makes the shoulder joint. Inside the glenoid cavity there is a attachment of the head of the humerus, and it makes the shoulder joint. So scapula have a, you have to remember, three border: superior border, medial border, lateral border, and on the lateral aspect also there is a glenoid cavity. On the posterior, it has a two surface. This is the dorsal surface, or it is called the posterior surface. It divided by the two part by the spine, and above the fossa, small fossa, it is called the supraspinatus fossa. Lower fossa, it is called the infraspinatus fossa, and the this is the anterior surface, or it is called the costal surface, or it is called the subscapular fossa. On the there are reeds which are present, three reeds which is present, but on the lateral side there is a one heavy reeds, and the lateral border, it is look like a rod like structure. This lateral border, it is look like a rod like, and it is a during the overhead abductions of the serratus anterior, at that time it is act as a lever. Side determinations of the scapula. This is the right side of scapula. Why it is right side? So always you have to remember the glenoid cavity lies laterally. First you have to keep the glenoid cavity laterally. Spine always lies on the posterior side, or on the posterior aspect of the scapula. This is the anterior surface. There is no spine, you have to remember. So spine, it is you have to keep on the posterior aspect, and there is a lateral border which is thick just below to the glenoid cavity. There is a lateral border, it is thick as compared to the medial border, So you have to remember this thing, and this spine which divide the posterior surface into the two parts, supraspinatus and infraspinatus fossa. So this is the helpful for the side determination. So this is the right side of the scapula. If I will keep on the reverse to it, if I will keep the on the left side on the my body, if it is the so if I will consider it is the left side of the scapula, then I have to keep the glenoid cavity on the laterally. So, but the spine which is not remain on the dorsal aspect. So, spine goes to the anteriorly. So, that's why this is the right side of the scapula. How to remember the side determination? Glenoid cavity lies on the which side? Laterally. Spine remain on the posterior aspect, and always there is a this is a medial border which is thin as compared to the lateral border. Here you can see lateral border is thick and the medial border it is very thin. So these are the criteria, and the posterior surface is divided into the two part by the infraspinatus and supraspinatus by the spine of the scapula, and also acromion process which is lies on the posterolateral aspect of the scapula, and the coracoid process always keep on the anterior aspect. You have to keep the coracoid process anteriorly and the acromion process on the posterior aspect. Now we will discuss about the attachment. This is the subscapular, it is the multipinnate muscles. This is the red area. So the medial two-third of the subscapular fossa or costal surface or anterior surface, it gives the attachment of the subscapularis. On the posterior aspect, there is a spine divided into the supraspinatus and infraspinatus fossa. The upper fossa, it gives the supraspinatus muscles. The lower fossa, it is larger and it gives the attachment of the infraspinatus muscles. And the deltoid, which is arise from the there is spine have a two border, upper border and the lower border. So the lower border, this red area, it gives the attachment of the deltoid muscles, and the you have to remember the acromion process also there is a lateral border, there is a attachment of the deltoid muscles, and there is a on the upper part of the spine it gives the attachment of the insertion of the trapezius muscle. This is the insertion of the trapezius muscle, and here you can see this is a groove for the attachment of the acromial end of the clavicle, and it makes the acromioclavicular joint. Here I will show you the acromial end of the clavicle which is attached to the acromion process. This is the acromial end of the clavicle which is attached to the acromial groove, clavicular groove for the attachment of the acromioclavicular joint. Spine have two reeds, upper reeds and lower reeds, but the continuation of the spine, it is a free hand of the spine. It is the acromion process. It has a two end. This is the medial border and this is the lateral border, and it has a superior surface, and this is the inferior surface of the acromion process. Both the fossa, supraspinatus and infraspinatus fossa, which is connected each other by the one notch on the lateral aspect of the spine, which is not attached to the body of the scapula, and it is called the spinoglenoid notch. This notch, it is called the spinoglenoid notch, and it passes the suprascapular vessels. So this is the spinoglenoid notch. So we already discussed upper edge, it gives the insertion of the upper edge of the spine, it gives the insertion of the trapezius, and lower edge of the spine as well as the lateral border of the acromion process, it gives the insertion of the origin of the deltoid muscles. So and over the medial border on the dorsal aspect, medial border and dorsal aspect, the above to the root of the spine, there is a attachment of the levator scapulae muscles. This is a attachment of the levator scapulae. So upper end, it gives the insertion of the levator ani muscles, over the just in front of the spine it gives the insertion of the rhomboids minor, and the lower part of the medial border on the dorsal side it gives the insertion of the rhomboids major muscles. So on the medial border on the dorsal aspect there is a three muscles which is insertion: levator scapulae, rhomboids minor just in front of the root of the spine, and just below to the spine on the medial border it gives the insertion of the rhomboids major. On the lateral border dorsal side or posterior side it gives the attachment of the two muscles. Here there is a origin of the teres minor into the upper 2/3 part and lower 1/3 part, and it gives the origin of the teres major muscles. And here there is a into the inferior angles there is a attachment of the latissimus dorsi. So on the lateral border on the dorsal side there is a two muscles mainly attached. There is a origin of the teres minor into the upper 2/3 part and lower 1/3 part. It gives the origin of the teres major, and at the inferior angle there is a attachment of the latissimus dorsi muscles. Now the attachment on the coracoid process. At the tip of the coracoid process there is a origin of the coracobrachialis and short head of biceps. Both are attached, and the pectoralis minor, which insertion of the pectoralis minor on the inserted into the medial border of the superior surface of the coracoid process. It is the insertion of the pectoralis minor muscles. So these are the three muscles mainly attached to the coracoid process, and there is a attachment of the coracoclavicular ligaments on the coracoid process. Near to the root of the coracoid process there is a attachment of the coracoclavicular ligament. At the suprascapular notch, this is a suprascapular notch, and it is converted by the ligament by the suprascapular foramen. It is a suprascapular ligament. So inside the suprascapular notch, the nerve which is passes from the notch and it convert into the foramen, and above to the foramen the suprascapular artery which is passed. This is the glenoid cavity, and this glenoid cavity attachment of the head of the humerus, and it makes the shoulder joint. The supraglenoid tubercle, here there is attachment of the long head of biceps, and the infraglenoid tubercle, here there is attachment of the short head of the long head of the triceps. There is a long head of triceps, and supraglenoid tubercle there is a long head of biceps. At the tip of the coracoid process we already discussed, it is a coracobrachialis and short head of the biceps, which is attached at the tip of the coracoid process. So at the tip of the supraglenoid tubercle there is a attachment of the long head of biceps, and infraglenoid tubercle there is a attachment of the long head of the triceps. Coracoacromial ligaments, from coracoid process to the acromial process, it is a coracoacromial ligament, and it makes the arch. For the shoulder joints. So it prevents the head of the humerus to prevent the upward dislocations, which is prevented by the coracoacromial ligament. So coracoacromial ligament, it is attached to the lateral border of the coracoid process. This is a lateral side, and this is a medial border of the acromion process. So both are attached to the, it makes a coracoacromial arch, and it prevents the head of the humerus to prevent the dislocate into the upper side. Coracohumeral ligaments, which is attached to the root of the coracoid process at that level. This is the root of the coracoid process. It is a coracohumeral ligament. And coracoclavicular ligaments, which is at a two-part coracoid and trapezoid part of the clavicles. Here there is a clavicle which is come, and so from the coracoid process to the trapezoid and conoid parts. So here there is a attachment of the coracoclavicular ligaments. Coracoclavicular ligaments. So these are the attachment of the scapula. Have one primary center near to the glenoid cavity and 7 secondary center. And the clinical aspect, you have to paralysis of the serratus anterior. We have not discussed the serratus anterior. Here on the medial border, on the costal surface, whole attachment of the medial border on the costal surface throughout. First digitation at the superior angle and 3 digitation at the medial border and the 5 digitation at the inferior angle. There is a insertion of the serratus anterior, and this serratus anterior insertion, if there is a insertion at here and it is arise from the upper 8 ribs, and if there is a paralysis, it lead to there is a winging of the scapula. And scaphoid scapula, it is the developmental anomaly. So this is about to the scapula. Hope you enjoy the lecture of the scapula.